how are you doing? My name is Joseph Ngugi. I am one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind. And for those of you that have never heard of Pre-PT Grind is a pre-physical therapy platform that myself and Casey Coleman built several years back. And our joy and purpose and aim is to help US pre-PTs get into PT school without wasting time or money. And tonight, as we record this, it is a Thursday night, and every Thursday night we have a pre-PT Grind chat live. Taylor, how are you doing? I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. And for those of you that are joining us live or on replay, thank you so much for being here with us. What we do is every single week we like to come on. Alexa, how you doing? We like to just come on here live and share with you just value from what we've seen on calls that we've had with several of our students from the accepted system. How are you doing, Cassie? Value based off of what we've seen you all ask us, whether it's through our messenger, whether it's inside of our Facebook group, the Pre-Doctor of Physical Therapy Students page, but really just trying to take care of you in the best way that we know how, because this is what we wish we would have had as pre-PTs ourselves. And tonight's topic is one that I have been asked about by quite a few pre-PTs over the last week. And so I figured, you know what? I've talked to those pre-PTs specifically on their own, but I figured if there was quite a few that were asking it, then we might as well address it tonight. So Casey will be joining me here shortly, but thank you for those of you that are joining us here. And tonight, if you have any questions on what we're about to talk about, please comment it below so we can make sure you're well taken care of. Let me let Casey on here. Let's see. Perfect. If you guys are watching this live, I would like you to help us out by commenting hashtag Team Live below. If you're watching this on replay, please comment hashtag Team Replay. Casey, how you feeling tonight, brother?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, man. It's draft night, so we're gonna make sure that this is not a super long one for everybody, but really just want to make sure that we hit this topic hard. If you're watching this on replay, please hashtag Team Replay Live, hashtag Team Live. But tonight's topic is simple. Can doing too much hurt your chances of getting accepted into PT school? Can doing too much actually hurt your chances of getting into PT school? And we already know that, doing too little. Michael, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Jessica, good to have you here, my friend. But the honest truth is, we've heard so many times that, doing too little, like if your GPA is not up to par, maybe you were slacking off. If the GRE is not going, well, we all know that clearly doing too little is not the formula for success, right? When it comes to being a pre-PT, Noble, how you doing? Like, doing too little doesn't always add up right, but does doing too much put us in the same predicament, if not worse, when it comes to applying to PT school? Understanding what we're about to share with you tonight is going to be the difference between some of y'all passing your GRE or getting that 300 on your GRE and retaking it for the fourth time and doing worse. What we talk about tonight is going to be the difference between you crushing it this semester and you not. You killing it during the application cycle or not. And as I kept hearing these pre-PTs ask this over and over, Casey, I was like, yo, like, why have we actually not addressed this at this level? And so I figured, you know what, let's talk about it. So Casey, we know that doing too little is obviously bad for us, but doing too much, talk to us a little bit about it. Like, can doing too much as a pre-PT, if I'm trying to set myself up for acceptance, if I'm not wanting to do, listen, if you guys want to apply multiple times, maybe for the next 10 years, that's cool. But most of us want to get in as soon as possible. If we get rejected, we want to get in the next possible time, right? Which is the following application cycle. So Casey, can doing too much or can being overwhelmed with too many things at once, like, can that actually set us up for failure or disappointment as pre-PTs?
Yeah, I'm going to take a slightly different angle just so I don't maybe talk about what you might talk about. But first, yeah, absolutely. A lot of times you guys just think you need to pack your application with stuff. Like, I just need stuff. in my application. Like, for what? Who told you that? Why? What belief system do you have about that? Why? Who did you hear that from? Why are you thinking that? You don't necessarily need just a bunch of stuff in your application, just to pad your low GPA, quote unquote, or low GRE score. I mean, yeah, that can help certain aspects, but at the same time, I'm sure what Joseph is going to talk about, that might take away from something else. And just in retrospect, from my two applications, the first time I can only apply to one school. Actually, I could have applied to two, but the second time I didn't pack my application with stuff. I was well, we did the mentorship program at Andrews. I was a TA for anatomy, and I think that was pretty much it. I may have done one more thing, but I didn't pack my application with stuff. I was very strategic with what I wanted to do. Will this help me? Do I have time? Yes or no? Okay, cool, let's do it. Will this help me? No. Do I have time? Yes. Okay, no, I'm not doing it. What does it fill those two criteria? Cool, I'll do it. And the things that I did fill those criteria. I did what I had to do, and I was accepted like multiple places, multiple interviews that I didn't even have to take. So you don't need stuff just to pile it on, because they might see all that stuff and they might ask you about your seventh thing you have on there, and you might have nothing to say. And that might be the detriment to like the whole thing. That might be the card falling down on your whole application. Like, oh crap, they asked me about my seventh thing. I barely even showed up for that. I showed up for 20 minutes and got my thing signed and left. As opposed to if you have three big things or three things of substance, you can actually talk about it. You have multiple stories. You have multiple perspectives that you can draw from, and they'll be like, wow, that's crazy. Your personality shows through. Your true self shows through. They'll see that. And I've talked about this before. They'll see when you're being fake. They'll see when you're just trying to pad your stuff with stuff. They're not stupid. They're not dumb. They've seen thousands of applicants before. And you guys even told us that. Oh, I'm going up against thousands of applicants, hundreds of applicants. Well, you're not really acting like you believe that, or you're not really acting like you understand that. Like, if they've seen this before, they know exactly what you're trying to do. So just be true to yourself. Be true to your application. Be true to actually what you want to do. So that's the first part. And the second part, I'll take a little different angle, is that you might be doing too much in terms of like how you're acting and how your I guess I'll use belief systems are as well. Like, you might see something on a blog or a YouTube video and you just try to regurgitate it without making it your own first. And that comes across as like again, I can see through that. It's cringeworthy when somebody's trying to be funny, or dance and they can't dance, or sing when they can't sing. You're like, what are you doing? Like, no, that sucks. Like, that just doesn't come across right. Don't be a cringeworthy pre-PT. It's just that simple. So don't try too hard. Don't try to do too much, because it's just going to show through. Be very diligent. Be very strategic. Be very, I guess, honorable with what you're trying to do, so that can actually shine through in your application. So those are really my two things on this topic. Like, you don't have to pad it with stuff, and don't, along with not doing too much, don't try too hard. If that makes sense. I have a live stream on that topic, like not trying too hard. Find it on YouTube, find it on the podcast. But yeah, what you think, Joseph?
Yeah, man, everything you said was 100% spot on. Let me take it a little deeper. I want, for those of you that are watching this live, and for those of you that will be watching your replay, which is usually a lot more, I want you to comment below if you, after failing an exam in class as a pre-PT, maybe not getting the score you wanted on your GRE or your practice tests, maybe getting rejected from PT school, or being waitlisted and not getting in, or being waitlisted and just maybe being waitlisted and never getting off the wait list, 2 years back to back, whatever that is. I want you to comment me if your first instinct, which is the most natural one, if your first instinct has been, shoot, I didn't work hard enough. I didn't prepare hard enough. Brittany, how are you doing? If you've been in any one of those situations, after the GRE, didn't get the score you wanted, after finishing an exam, either one of these, after finishing an exam during your semester or whatever, after applying to PT school and not getting in, wherever you are, like you said, yo, I did not do enough. Alexa, I hear you. And for those of y'all watching this on replay, I do want you to comment as well, because I want you guys to see that you're not alone in this way of looking at it. Honestly, it's the way I've looked at things a lot of times. Even today, I have to check myself in understanding that when something goes wrong, it's not just because I did something wrong. Even as a PT, I have to be very careful about this. I have to be very careful, because if a patient goes out and does something that's not too wise, and then they come back a little more, I can't blame myself for it if I educated them. And then sometimes I'm still like, yo, did I not do enough? Did I not explain enough? Should I have told their daughter that they shouldn't have been doing that? Should I have this? Should I have been like? No. The honest truth is, you have to get to a point where you realize that that's the very thought that could lead you down. Now, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you realize, okay, maybe I should have stepped it up if that really was the need. If you really did not prepare well for the GRE, okay, maybe you do need to step it up. And I do believe that in every situation, there is always something that we need to change. There's always a factor, whether it's how we think, whether it's in our knowledge, whether it's in how we approached it, whether it's us panicking at the last second. Y'all realize you can prepare so well for the GRE and then get in your head during the last, on the day of, and even though you're well prepared for it, you could literally deceive yourself into thinking that you actually were not prepared for it. No, you just got in your head. You can apply to PT school and be a stellar applicant and show up on the day of the interview and actually stand in your own way because you got in your head. So it's not always because you didn't work hard enough. It's not always because you didn't put enough work in. Susie, how are you doing? So herein lies the conversation for tonight. Can doing too much actually set you up for destruction sometimes? Yeah. Heck yeah. Eric, how are you doing? After finishing up the GRE, if you're right now preparing to retake the GRE, the solution is not to panic and say, okay, let me just dive back in and just study harder. Maybe I didn't study, because the honest truth is, usually you end up digging yourself into a deeper hole. What I've seen a lot of, and I'm telling you this just so that y'all don't start getting in your own heads, this is common. Like, I'm trying to make this as normal as possible so that you realize that when you're in the situation, you are in a group filled with thousands and thousands of other pre-PTs that are doing the exact same thing. But after the GRE, the first thing I see people doing is the day after they take it, they're back to studying. If they studied 2 hours before, they're doing 3 hours a day now, 4 hours a day now, exhausting themselves. Your mind has a cap for how much it can hold. Did you guys know that about 45 minutes is usually what it takes for your mind to hit its tipping point when it comes to learning information? You have to do it wiser. And by that, I mean you have to give yourself enough time to reset, enough time for your body to actually recharge. You know what I've been doing? So I've been actually going through the same thing, because right now I'm managing a few things at the same time. So I have a clinic. We have pre-PT grind and over 100 students that we that we mentor. I have a wedding coming up in about 6 weeks. There's so many different things, and I've actually gotten to the point where recently I'm getting really, really fatigued, to the point where my efficiency and my ability to perform well actually goes down. And it led me to think, holy crap, that's the same things we do as pre-PTs. We literally put ourselves in the situations where we're overworking ourselves, where we're not giving ourselves enough time to actually step back, recharge, and reset as pre-PTs, to the point where we actually screw ourselves over. We step in our own way. Our GRE scores actually get worse. We apply again thinking we were supposed to do a lot more, work a lot harder, and we actually, for some reason, last time I got, maybe I got waitlisted last year, and this time I just got straight up rejected. What happened? And you actually lie to yourself thinking that maybe PT is not meant for you. But the honest truth is, your body can only take so much. Your body can only take so much. So right now, when it comes to the work ethic that you guys are putting in, you have to treat yourself the way we treat anything else, right? You have to give yourself breaks. You have to set up your schedule in a way that allows you, what's up, Paul, You literally have to set up your schedule in a way that allows you to actually recharge and refuel yourself. What I'm doing lately is this. Every single day, I'm at the clinic. I know that at night, I'm literally grinding from about 5:30 in the morning to about 9 p.m., 10 p.m. at night. So I know that if I'm going at 100 miles an hour through all the work I'm doing, paperwork I'm doing beforehand, working at the clinic, then getting on power calls, then doing live streams and everything else and consulting, and then answering messages and stuff like that. If I'm doing that, spending time with my fiance, I know that if I do that for a few days in a row, my body will crash. It actually happened last year. The first weekend in December of 2018, my health actually started going downhill. Like it was a bit of a scare to where like I literally like cut my day in half, got an Uber because I couldn't even drive myself, got an Uber from the clinic, got to my place, barely got in. My fiance was somewhere at work. I'm like telling her, yo, I can't even like I couldn't even move myself for like a good several hours. That night I had dinner with some PT friends. That was the first, like, for like a 6 hour window, I was inactive. And I know sometimes it's like, yo, like, Joseph and Casey are just crushing it. They're just going, but we have set it up for ourselves. Even Casey has set up his schedule for him to actually be able to reset and recharge. For Casey, it's in his sleep. For me, at lunchtime, I've literally stopped socializing with people at lunch. Here's what I do. I literally go, I have 1 hour for my lunch break. The first 15 minutes, I eat my food because it doesn't take me that long to eat. If I'm not talking to people, it doesn't take me that long to eat. I take the last 45 minutes, and we have a nice, Paul, you remember when you were here? Like, there's like a base, like our bay shore here in Tampa. So she got some nice views, the ocean water right there, a few yards from the clinic. And I'm literally taking a walk down that, no headphones, no music, no podcast, nothing, no audiobook. And I'm just walking down that for 45 minutes straight, decompressing, letting my mind quiet down, letting everything calm down. And honestly, I started it pretty recently because I hit a point where I was like, I had to ask one of my mentors. I was like, how in the world do you do it, man? How do you do it? Like, how are you handling this? And he literally was like, bro, like, you're not giving yourself enough time to ever shut down. Your brain never turns off. Yeah, it is gorgeous. Like, your brain never turns off. And for you as a pre-PT, if you're doing too much, it means you're putting yourself in overdrive. Double check what your actions are really saying. If you're studying for the GRE or prepping for it and you're putting yourself into overdrive, if you're saying, man, I got to study for 3 hours straight, you're actually setting yourself up for failure. Y'all realize, like, that's why there's methods like the Pomodoro method to study, which is literally like you studying for like 25 minutes straight. You give yourself a 10, what's up, Josh? You give yourself like a 5 to 10 minute time frame to literally do nothing. Like you can grab your phone, you can go on Facebook, you can take a little power nap if you can do that in 5 to 10 minutes, and then you go back at it again for another 25 minutes. No distractions, no phone, no nothing, no texting, no NBA, no draft night, nothing. You're locked in for another 25 minutes, you take another break. You do that over and over and over and over again, and then you take a longer break after doing it for maybe the first 4 times. Your body needs it. One thing that I even do is every Saturday, I actually take 1 day off every week. I've been doing, I mean, Paul knows this. Like, I've been doing this for forever, pretty much. Like, I did it through grade school. I did it through high school. I did it through being a pre-PT. So if y'all tell me you can't do it, shoot. I did it through being a physical therapy student. And I'm still doing it now as a physical therapist. Your body has been designed to take those days, like to take some kind of time off. It has to. You have to give it. So if you guys are going to work hard, if you guys are going to work yourself into overtime, if you're going to go in and say, man, I'm going to do all these different things. I'm just going to observe as many places as possible, Casey, every amount of free time because I'm so motivated by what Casey and Joseph are saying. I'm just going to do anything and everything to stand out. I'm going to pad my application. Honestly, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not. You have to be able to step back and say, yo, does this even make sense? Is this taken away from my ability to even enjoy my pre-PT experience? Casey, did you have a good time as a pre-PT?
Oh yeah, all the time. I was doing
Casey,
whatever I needed to do,
yeah,
whatever I wanted to do.
did you have a good time as a physical therapy student?
Oh, I had a lot more time than I thought. Yeah, especially knowing now.
Are you having a good time now as a business owner, as a coach for over 100 people, as a full-time physical therapist, as one of the big leaders for the new grad physical therapy, like as like all these different responsibilities. Do you still have
Yeah.
time? Like, are you enjoying yourself?
Oh man, life is so good right now. They don't even know. So yeah,
The
absolutely.
honest truth is, if that's not how you feel right now as a pre-PT, you're doing too much. And by doing too much, I'm not saying that you're doing the wrong things. I'm just saying that the way you've organized them is actually setting you up for destruction. It's setting you up to wear yourself down, to wear yourself thin. It's like that's in anything. Sports, if y'all are basketball fans, yo, watch what happened to someone like Russell Westbrook, one of the best players in the game.
Mm,
Homie is always moving at 100 miles an hour, can't make it past round one of the playoffs. For y'all
mm.
Thunder fans, I apologize, but I'm proving a point. The superstars that are able to rest, I mean, people used to get mad because, like, man, I go to a game and the superstar that I wanted to watch with them, but they're resting. They know what they're really playing for. So, are you playing for your championship as a pre PT? Are you playing to actually get in? Are you
Mm.
playing to actually get accepted?
Wow.
Because unless you're structuring things that way, unless you're giving yourself enough time, unless you literally have to schedule it in, like find whatever you use to schedule, whether it's a planner, whether it's on your phone, whatever that is, you have to schedule it in. Otherwise, you will run yourself dry. You will run yourself into the ground as a pre PT, and it won't be worth it long term. Does that make sense? So, really, as a pre PT, can doing too much hurt your chances of getting in? Yes. Does it necessarily mean you're doing the wrong things? No. But you have to structure it in a way that allows you to still enjoy your journey, to still be you, to still allow yourself to have your days to decompress. It's okay to take days off. If you want to take a full day off like I do, that's fine. If you want to take a half day off, whatever it is for you to be able to perform at your best. I would rather you perform at your best with a few key things and actually crush it like Casey did than trying to do 20 different things at the same time, whether it's studying, whether it's GRE, whether it's the random things that you're observing at or whatever, just to look like you were busy. Just to look like, I
Mm.
mean, I got pre-PT saying, man, I'm trying to do all this stuff so they know I can handle a lot. Bull crap. Bull crap. I had pre-PTs when I was a pre-PT, I had students that were trying to do honors because they're like, man, honors is gonna help me stand out. I'm gonna do more, I'm gonna take extra classes. Honestly, they're the ones that are not even in PT. Like they gave up on PT because they
Wow.
realized that what PT schools cared about was the prereqs, the basic stuff. And that's what we did. And we were able to focus on the things that mattered. We were able to pour our energy into the things that actually mattered to the point where when we applied, we actually got accepted. And for you as a pre-PT, you have to look at it that way. And right now, if you feel like, man, Joseph, Casey, like I'm overwhelmed, I'm trying to, Taylor says, stop multitasking and focus on one thing at a time. Like, it's like, if you feel like you're multitasking, doing multiple things is great, but you can't really multitask. It doesn't really exist. It's not a thing. Really, what you can do though is you can do multiple things, but be present with all of them if you've structured it well. So make sure you schedule everything. Make sure you schedule the time off. Make sure you're giving yourself the ability to recharge, whatever that means for you. If that means running, if that means working out, if that like schedule it in. It's absolutely critical. I would rather you cut something out. I would rather you cut hours at your tech job. I would rather you stop observing as many places. I would rather you wait an extra month to take your GRE again than running yourself into the ground saying, "Oh, I got this timeline." Y'all, listen, man. Like, I'm not saying this to let y'all slack, but y'all realize like the people that are really applying in like July are the ones that are like early decision. Y'all technically got like an extra month, technically, if you're applying to multiple schools. So don't overwhelm yourself. Don't overbear yourself. If you want to be successful as a pre-PT, learn how to be amazing at the few things that you already have in front of you. Stop trying to look around for every little thing that you can, every crevice or whatever. And if you need guidance,
Mm.
good. Hit us up. Like, that's why we're here. We're literally here to help guide y'all. That's why we say we're trying to get y'all into PT school without wasting time or money. Like, that's what we do. That's what we do. And if you're stuck and you're like, yo, I need some guidance, Casey and Joseph. I need some direction. I need someone that can help me. Just, okay, hit us up. Just go to contactpreptgrind.com and let's start a conversation today. today. But the honest truth is, we don't want you to look back on this moment a year from now saying, dang, I thought I was trying to set myself, but I actually screwed myself over. I shot myself in the foot. And the honest truth is, that's when you'll start resenting this process. And if PT is what you want, I don't want you to resent it one day. Because this is the best profession in healthcare right now, period. And if you've already bought into it, then why put yourself in a situation that allows you to think otherwise? Does that make sense to y'all? If it makes sense, just comment makes sense. If it makes sense, just let me know below. Even if you're watching this on replay, just let me know that it makes sense, just so I make sure that we at least conveyed our message correctly tonight. But that's it. Go crush it. Go destroy the classes you're taking right now. Go get them. Go get your A's. If the A is impossible right now, go get your A minus, B plus, whatever you got to get. But aim for the A always. If it's the GRE, same thing. Schedule things out. Schedule your breaks. Schedule, like, you need them. You are a human being. You are not a robot. You are not a machine. You are a human being. So enjoy the process. It's a lot of fun. It really is. Like, if this feels like a burden to you, then you might not be doing it well. It's a lot of fun. Is it hard work? Of course. Everything is. But you should be enjoying it. We sure have been. We sure enjoyed our process. And we want you to do the same as well. Does that make sense? Josh, Taylor, everyone that joined us tonight, Ryan, Megan, it's great to have you guys here tonight. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing Thursday. Casey, is there anything else that you would like to add before we shut this down tonight?
Joseph said, make sure you're having fun. If you're not having fun, then you need to get in the accepted system, because I know our students are having a blast. So go to preptgrind.com, scroll down a little bit, join, watch our 3-part video series, learn about it, click the links, and get in there. If you're not having fun, join the accepted system. So we'll see you in pretty soon. Schedule your call with us, and we'll get you in. So let's make it happen.
Perfect. Y'all have a good one. Many blessings. Kill it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.